Hi, folks. Mr. Ruley here for today's edition of Story Time. Now, we are going to be continuing with Dragon Masters Book 1, Rise of the Earth Dragon. We're about halfway through, and so let me check my notes here for the next chapter, which is Chapter 7. All right. Oh, that's right. In this chapter, we see a lot more information about King Roland. Now, I want you to really think to yourself when you see some of that information, what does King Roland initially think of Drake and the other Dragon Masters for that matter? So really be paying attention to that. The other thing is there's an important scene here where Drake, the main character in the story, has a dream about his dragon, and this could help you understand something that happens later in the book. All right, chapter 7 begins with a strange dream. The Dragon Masters jumped to their feet. King Roland swept into the room. He was a big man with red hair and a bushy beard. He walked right up to Drake. Drake was so nervous, he was shaking. "This is my new Dragon Master?" he asked. "Well, yes, your highness," said Griffith. The king frowned. "He's scrawny." Drake felt like sinking into the floor. The king turned to Griffith. "Explain this to me, wizard. My strongest men cannot control dragons. Why is it that these children can?" Children can do a whole heck of a lot. It's always interesting when people underestimate what you guys can do. All right. "Well, it's the way of the Dragonstone," Griffith said. "It is a mystery, even to me." "Humph," snorted the king. "Very well, then. I shall leave my army in your hands." "Army?" Drake wondered. King Roland looked at Drake again. "Do not let me down, boy," he said. Then he and the soldier left. Everyone sat back down. The king's words scared Drake. What will happen if I do let him down? Drake wondered. He had a feeling it wouldn't be good. Bo took Drake to their room. There was a bed and a wooden chest for each of them. There was also a desk for them to share. A jug of water sat on the table. "That is your bed," Bo said, pointing. Drake climbed into bed. Let's see. The moon shone through a small window. Drake looked over at Bo. He was already sleeping peacefully. Drake soon drifted off to sleep, too. All of a sudden, he was in a dark cave. Was he really in a cave? No, he's dreaming, you know that. But all of a sudden, he was in a dark cave. The air in the cave felt warm. It smelled like the deep, rich dirt where the onions grew. Green eyes glowed in the darkness. Worm! Worm was in the cave. Remember, Worm is his dragon. And behind him were other dragons. They all had the same brown scales and green eyes. Kind of a cool little scene there. Boom! A loud explosion shook the cave. Smoke filled the air. Worm let out a cry. The dragon slithered across the cave floor, looking for a way out. Drake woke up in his bed, dripping sweat. That was some nightmare, he thought. It felt so real. Wonder if there's a reason why it felt so real. Although, have you ever had one of those dreams where you wake up and it's like, it's hard to distinguish reality? Those dreams kind of mess with me a little bit from time to time. All right, looking at chapter 8, it's called Flying Practice. So we're going to find out dragons are a secret to others. Let's see why. Also, at the end of the chapter here, there's a bit about the glowing stones. I want you to pay attention to that as well. Why is the stone glowing? All right, Flying Practice, chapter 8. After breakfast the next morning, Drake went back underground with Griffith and the other dragon masters. "Why do we train all the way down here?" Drake asked as they walked. "Don't you know," Rory said, "we're a secret. No one knows the dragons are here. No one knows the Dragonstone is real, and no one knows about us." Drake looked at the wizard. "It is true," Griffith said. "The king does not want others to know about the dragons." "Because he's building a dragon army?" Drake asked. "Well, that's the king's business, not ours," said Griffith. He opened the door to the hallway of dragon caves. "Collect your dragons. We are going outside today." "Hooray!" yelled Anna, Rory, and Bo. "But won't someone see us if we go outside?" asked Drake. "No, we'll be hidden in the Valley of Clouds," said Anna. "Hurry, go get Worm." Drake ran through the winding hallway to Worm's cave. Worm raised his head and looked at him. It reminded Drake of his nightmare. Ooh, he shivered. "Come on, Worm, we're going outside," Drake said as he opened the gate. Worm crawled out of his cave. Griffith led them all down a dark tunnel. Where's Griffith taking them? The tunnel opened up into a bright field of grass. Tall hills rose up on all sides. "The sun!" cheered Anna. She twirled around. Drake looked up at the sun and smiled. "So what do we do out here?" he asked. Anna grinned. "We fly," she said. She patted Kepri on the head. "Show 'em, girl." Kepri raised her long neck and flew straight up. She looped and swirled in the air. Drake watched her, shading his eyes from the sun. He had never seen anything like it. "Well, wait till you see Vulcan fly," Rory said. "Vulcan, circle." Typical of Rory. She's always trying to be number one, be on top. Wait till you see my dragon. She has a little bit of that personality. Vulcan flapped his big red wings. He flew up into the sky and circled the field. "Wow," Drake said. He looked over at Bo. "Your dragon doesn't have wings, but she can fly too?" he asked. Bo nodded. "She does not need wings," he said. "Shoo, please fly." Shoo floated up off the grass. Well, that's pretty magical. The dragon could fly without wings. "It's like she's swimming through the air," Drake said. "Yes," said Bo. "How Shoo flies is very much like how one swims. She can ride the winds." Oh, I like how they said that. She can ride the winds. Drake looked at Worm. His tiny wings did not look like they could lift him. "What about you, Worm?" he asked. "Can you fly too?" Worm just stared at Drake. He didn't flap his wings. He didn't even move. "It's okay," Drake said. He thought of how scared Worm had been in the nightmare. "We can watch the others." Drake sat on the grass. He put a hand on Worm's back. The dragon moved a little closer to him. Suddenly, the dragon stone felt warm on Drake's skin. He looked down. It was glowing. Drake looked around. Griffith was standing over with the other dragon masters. None of their stones were glowing. "Why is my stone glowing?" he wondered. "Am I doing something wrong?" So that's interesting. His was the only stone that was glowing. I wonder why that is. Let's see. Drake quickly tucked his dragon stone inside his shirt. Then he went back to watching the other dragons fly across the sky. You know what? I can't leave it there. I'm going to have to go on to chapter 19 here. Chapter 19 is Whispers. Let's go ahead and see what happens in this chapter together. "And that is how to shine a dragon's scales," Griffith was saying later that week. "Remember, brush one scale at a time, no shortcuts." Interesting way to start. Kind of fast forwards the whole story about a week. Rory sighed. "When can we go out again?" Drake was glad Rory had asked. They had been stuck in the training room for 3 days. Oh, it's too much inside time. Kind of feels like what we're doing right now. Drake liked learning about dragons, but he was used to being outside all day, every day on his farm back home. He was starting to forget what the sun looked like. The wizard patted a tall pile of books on his desk. "There is much for you to learn first. We will go out again soon, Rory." Then a soldier came in. He handed something to Griffith. The wizard smiled. "Drake, it is a letter for you." "Read it out loud," Anna said. Drake quickly nodded to Griffith. Here's the letter. "Dear Drake, we are glad you are safe. We still don't know why the king brought you there. Can you tell us? Please keep writing so we won't worry. And thank you to your friend Bo for helping you to write to us. Love, your mother." Good old letter from Mom. "Your mother sounds nice," Bo said. Drake's eyes started to burn. He held back his tears. "Thanks," he said. "May I send another letter to tell her about the dragons?" "You must not say anything about the dragons," Griffith said. "The king's secret must be kept." Wow, it's quite a secret. I don't know if I could keep a secret from my mom. I definitely wouldn't want to. The wizard stood up. "Now it is time to shine your dragons. Let us go." As they were leaving the training room, Rory ran over to Anna. She started whispering to her. Drake kept an eye on Rory as they walked toward the dragon caves. She has a sneaky look on her face, he thought. What are she and Anna up to? Any guesses? Let's see. Well, we'll have to wait for the next chapter, chapter 10. All right, folks. Always enjoy reading to you. Hope you are enjoying the story as much as I am. Other than that, take good care, everyone.